Say what? Look. I'm on tour right now.
New OGs. The New OGs is a State Medicine Entertainment production and is brought to you by Solar Masters. Look, Illinois is changing how people get their electricity, and Solar Masters is helping homeowners in Illinois take advantage of a program that lets them get solar power at no cost. If you're a single-family homeowner in the state of Illinois, you can lower your electric bill, you can raise the value of your home, and you can do something good for the environment without paying a single dollar out of your pocket to do so. In fact, Solar Masters can only work with you if they can save you money. Solar Masters is a Black-owned company and a SunPower dealer, which is an American panel maker with over 30 years of solar experience, and they even have a referral program that pays out as much as $500 per referral. So head over to www.gosolarmasters.com.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Bobby.
There he is.
Hey, what's happening, man?
What's going on, bud?
Hey, I was listening to the ad, and I just want to make sure anybody who's never heard the show before, to make sure they heard everything you said.
Yeah, make sure the newbies know what's going on.
Here's a quick recap, my brother.
Right,
you said that people could save money every month on their electric bill.
Every month on their electric bill, they can save money. That is.
They could do something amazing for the environment and help the birds, the bees, and all the trees.
They can do something for the environment. Yeah, they can play their part. Obviously, like corporations are the main issue, but of course, you know, playing your part wouldn't hurt. You know what I mean? You could definitely help out by involving yourself there.
Okay, Bobby, don't edit on the commercial. It's my job to do that. Okay, and they can get $500, $500 every single time they refer somebody.
They get $500 every time they refer somebody.
Yeah, Bobby. That's better than Kanye setting himself on fire in Soldier Field, man. And that was fucking amazing.
Well, if you like
that last night?
I did, man. I did. It was crazy. And if you like to have the type of money to pay for the hospital bills it would take after you self-immolate, and I'm going to have some because my hand got lit up the other day. Get yourself over to www.gosolarmasters.com and get in touch for a free consultation. Order first.
Bobby, was you trying to Kanye yourself?
Yeah, the Kanye stuff leaked and I tried to beat him to it. And I mean, he's a better man than me. I only got a hand deep before I had to call it. We're also brought to you by People of Comedy on Facebook. Gets People of Comedy on Facebook. See all the great shows offered there. Check in daily. They've got new, fresh podcasts you can watch and listen to wherever you listen to pods. We are back at it here today. Another Friday, boys. We are here.
I'm excited, man. This is there's a lot of craziness going on this week. And I had a cool OG week. So I'm ready to do it.
You had an OG week, huh?
I am broke Tony Stark right now in my crib. Like my garage and front door are voice activated. I can literally let you in the crib from the shitter.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. And I got cameras everywhere now.
Nice.
Plus, my neighbor across the way has cameras that we're going to do a thing that we just we have a separate thing just for us to pass that information back and forth. So then you have a
private neighborhood network going on.
That we have a whole.
I love how the one black guy in the neighborhood is the most protected dude in the hood.
Nigga ain't the most protected. I'm the most watched. If it's gonna go down, it's gonna go down right here. So let's just make sure we have every angle. But hey, I can see the motherfuckers coming now. So
that sounds like I am definitely not going to get in trouble for whatever's happening because this shit's going to be on video. When they show up and they're going to have cameras on all they big app, because and here's the thing, I get it. You're 6'7", you're probably one of the larger dudes in the neighborhood. And you're also considering you're one of the only black guys there. You're the one who the police are probably going to try and show up and fuck with.
Bobby, let me tell you, the dude who installed it, he was a white dude. He kind of looked like Joe at Laugh Factory, the bartender. He kind of looked
he did.
Yeah,
he did.
And I always think people look like each other. I'm just trying to give you a prototype of the build of this guy. He didn't look like him, but that's my point. He's like that size guy. He was very, very cool, very helpful, but he had a tone while he was giving me the instructions on how to operate the video camera. Like basically, hey, you can have this go longer, if something happens. If you need to record something, if something's happening outside your door, you could do this record thing and you could record for a lot longer than just set for 30 seconds now or 30, something like that. And like the way he said it, he kept emphasizing like, if something happens, and I'm like, I see you, dude. I see you. I appreciate that. I respect that you woke enough. Either you woke enough that you like, hey, I get it, or he's like, they coming for you, boy.
When he knocks on your door. When he knocks on your door and you open it in the suburb that you're in, he for sure just like, I bet I could guess why this is going down. Like,
that's what's going on.
For sure, this nigga is not worried about somebody coming and stealing from him. That's not the issue. Like he knew. He goes, let me guess, you got this thing for the garage? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, yeah. He started nodding his head like, yeah, okay, I get what you got. I see what you got going on, brother. So he started like breaking down like how to use it. I mean, he was very good. So, but I'm all set up now. Yeah. I pulled some dumb shit. Here's some OG shit. You start cooking for yourself as an adult, you start trying dumb shit, and you fuck your whole hand up. This is what I'm currently dealing with right now. This is the nicest that I can look at the moment.
The middle finger was spared.
Yeah, the middle finger is the least. Like it's the least, so I can still be like fuck you and like like it's like a constant middle finger. The first day I covered it up just because I didn't want to look rude. I was like, let's just get them all.
I'm gonna make this clear. I have no personal stats on Bobby's sexual activity, but I bet you that's his bang finger. I bet you money that's his bang finger.
You gotta keep one loose. You know what I mean? You gotta keep. So here's what happened. So I make steak like probably 5 or 6 days a week, right? Like, and some days I don't make steak because I made 2 steaks the day before and I saved one. And so I don't make steak every day, but pretty often I make steaks. And the way that I make steaks is I reverse sear them, which means if you don't know about steak, I cook it on a rack in the oven at a low temperature until it gets to a certain point. And then I throw it on top of the skillet, which I get hot like at the end. And so at the beginning, the skillet's on the stove. It's usually not hot until like a couple minutes before I pull the steak out to throw it on there. So like that's usually how I cook it, right? I usually can throw butter on the skillet. It's not going crazy just yet, not that hot. This time I was trying to do something different. I was trying to just do it in a regular manner where I was going to cook it on the stove, and then throw it in the oven at the end. But I wanted to get the cast iron hot first, so I put it in the oven and let it get up to like 400 degrees. And then I used the gloves I have and set it on the oven. Took the gloves off, was doing some other shit. Went to throw butter down on it, and then went to shimmy the handle a little bit.
I just imagine how you fully grip that handle.
Oh yeah, because I gripped it like a cast iron. Like normally I'll throw the butter down, crank the heat up, and I've got time before it gets out. You know what I mean? Before it gets to the handle, so I can fuck with the butter a little bit, and then even when it starts to get warm, it's just like, oh yeah, it's getting warm. Let's throw the glove on. But like, that's just not how I've been cooking steak for months now. And so I did this different method and just reached and grabbed it, and I got about a shim into the first shimmy, and was like, "Oh, there's a problem going on here, all in the hand." And so,
I'm gonna be real. The burn thing, I'm sad about that. But the best part about this is, I think I learned a new way to cook steak. I don't eat steak, but I don't know shit about this searing stuff, and I'm excited to see if I could do something with a chicken breast like that. Because that sounds cool. With
steak, it's like 200, 205 degrees for like 35 minutes until the temperature gets up to like 105, 110. And then you get the pot hot on the stove and you throw it on there for like a minute on each side and you're golden.
Rob, well, we're going to get to your week. I'm just going to throw this one little thing in there. I am mixing some soul food shit with some white people shit. White girls told me how to crock pot some shit, right? And I got this jerk chicken marinade. I'm about to just drop that shit in the crock pot and walk away. Yeah. Now my crib gonna smell Jamaican for 2 weeks.
Right.
But the jerk chicken's gonna be fire.
The
jerk chicken's about to be fire.
So I went to I have not felt pain this bad as an adult, if that's really been the case. Probably a real sweet concussion, maybe. That's probably been the closest I've been to like, whoa. But this was some like, but like the crazy, this was in waves. And apparently all the doctors said I did the right thing. I got cold water on it right away. I had some expired stuff for hand burns that like somebody had gotten before that I used, even though it was expired. Like any use is good. It's not like it's not like food where it's rotten. It just doesn't work as well. So like I put that on my hand. I put an ice pack on it. I went to the emergency room. And so, in tears, dude, like straight up, like every nerve ending firing, it kept feeling like my hand was falling asleep and then exploding in pain again. Like, you know, that feeling when you like sat on your hand, you fall asleep on your hand, you wake up, it's tingly, like that tingliness would hit. And then it would just be like searing up my arm type pain where I'm just like, this is like, you could cut it off. This might be better. You cut it off. So finally they got me in a saline bath. They gave me an IV with some fentanyl. That helped out quite a bit.
It didn't help out completely. It was that painful. It was still having some pain.
I was like,
wow.
they were like, you should feel a little chill that comes over your body. And I was like, and when is the chill coming? Like, I'm telling you, dude, when I first burnt my hand, like the way my partner knew we had to go to the hospital, she was like you were perspiring with your hand in cold water. Like your hand was in cold water and you were like buckets of sweat coming down your hand. And so like they gave me fentanyl, it cooled it off a little bit. They kept pouring saline on it. That helped a bunch. They gave me a Percocet, which although I don't like painkillers, that for sure, like I didn't feel any more pain that night. That was the end of pain. That was after the fentanyl IV and the Percocet pill, I was pretty much, the pain part was over. It was just about managing the skin afterwards. So I
saw you that next morning and you seemed okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. I went to see a burn specialist the next day. Thank you, insurance. This is what happens when you have insurance, by the way. I have not, I just got insurance last year for the first time in a couple of years, 2-3 years. And had this happened otherwise, I probably would have just I just had brat fingers forever. That's probably what would have happened. I wouldn't have gone. I probably would have done my best to not go to the hospital or waited and gone at a time when I could get somebody with a sliding scale or whatever the fuck. So I could go for $40 or whatever. And then they'd be like, oh yeah, you're probably not going to get some feeling back in this. You know what I mean? But luckily I was able to go and I was able to see a burn specialist the next day who gave me this fucking wet gauze that's on here now. It's skin is ridiculous, by the way. The shit is improved so much in the last 2 days. And they were in 4 or 5 days, you should be fine. As long as you as long as you keep dressing it with this.
So wet gauze, next week you won't have bandages?
They gave me this wet gauze shit, and they were just after next week, you just have to make sure you have non-alcohol based lotion. You have to have oil based lotion to put on it. You should be good to go. That was it. And then I was like, wow, how much of a baby am I that I was this is when what they explained to me was if this was 3rd-degree burns, you would have gone in the type of shock where you wouldn't have felt it. It would just seared through your shit and you wouldn't have felt it. The worst pain is 2nd-degree burns because you're still super conscious and it's still super hey, you're fucking up right now.
And your hands, I believe, are somewhat designed to your nerve endings on your hands are designed to work through pain a tad bit because that's how much we need our hands as opposed to other parts of your body that shit would just be no, we quit.
Fortunately, they told me. The workouts that I've been doing lately are all bar based. Everything is with this bar, right? It's like a barbell, and every work I've been doing is with that. And they said, fortunately, my left hand didn't have calluses on the palm as badly as didn't have burns as bad as they could have because of the calluses.
The calluses.
They're fortunately, you had because where I grip was right where the calluses are, and they're it would there's a spot on the palm underneath it where it's shitty, but right where the calluses are, it's hardly anything.
I'm doing my best to avoid them motherfuckers.
I'm gonna start punching walls and shit from now on and make sure I'm all good. You know what I mean? Rob, man, I know you didn't set yourself on fire this week. You have anything crazy going on, or what's?
Quite a few things crazy going on. This evening, I'm going on a reality show. I can't tell you which one, but it's the second time I'll be appearing on said show.
Really?
I think I told you guys what it is. I'm doing it again today. We're going to a club and hang out. In addition to that, out of the blue, out of nowhere, guess who got in contact with me the other day?
Who?
Godfrey.
Really?
Yes. Me and Godfrey go way back. We started around the same couple of weeks.
That dude is so dope. I love him.
Man, and he has not changed at all. You understand what I'm saying? I was like, Godfrey, I was calling you and you ain't called me back. He was like, fuck you. He was like, what number you got? And so I told him, he was like, nigga, I ain't had that number since I don't know when. And he was like, this the number now. What you need, let me know. I got you. I was like, thank you, bro. Thank you. So yeah, I got to contact with my mans again. I ain't heard of him in a minute.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
OG energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll be on the show. He'll be on the show next week.
Huh?
So he'll be on the show next week.
I can ask him. I can ask him.
I mean, I assume that's what your brand. I'll be like, and here he is, ladies and gentlemen.
No, you asked me
joining
what
us
my
on the
week
phone
was.
right now.
You asked me what my week was, motherfucker. I just told you.
Yeah. No. I saw a nigga and he caught up on some shit, like some real old nigga shit. I saw this old nigga and we caught up on some shit.
Man, I'm ready to be out here in the street, but they got too many motherfuckers coughing and dying and shit around.
Man, dude.
Yo, you helped with the segue right there, because the first thing we were gonna talk about was this COVID shit, man. The FDA approved the Pfizer vaccine, which is, if you got the Pfizer, you're good. I don't think, here's what that means to me, is that Moderna is just not far behind. Pfizer, I think.
Yeah. I know.
It's just a matter of time. I'm not responding to you with this false excitement over a thing that you had no control over. It wasn't like you picked the shit out of the box, nigga.
No, but I did pick Pfizer. I had a choice when I picked mine. Dude,
for real?
Yeah, I could have went Moderna or Johnson & Johnson. It was before Johnson & Johnson started fucking up.
Pfizer gang, baby.
That's what the privilege of going to Trump country.
I don't really
you went out to the backwoods, I don't give you options?
Yeah,
I don't really give a
that's bogus, man.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I don't really give a good goddamn what magical serum they put in my shit so I don't die. I just want one of them, right? But it's very interesting that this nigga lives in a neighborhood where they giving these motherfuckers choices like Happy Meals and shit. Let me give you number one.
He went further out.
Yeah, I went 45
Tell
minutes.
him how far
Yorkville. It's an area called Yorkville, which is 45 minutes west of me, and I'm an hour west of the city. I'm a 45 minutes an hour west of the city.
Now, where is that in relationship to Sandwich?
Yeah, it's past Sandwich. It's past Sandwich. I had to drive through Sandwich to get to the motherfucker.
I think Sandwich has a KKK headquarters there.
But anybody watching the show is like, what these towns that these motherfuckers are talking about outside Chicago? Sandwich, Dennis Hazard, the former Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
The
boy toucher guy.
That went to jail because of a shitty law that he created. It's from there.
He made that law, right?
Yeah. And
the guilt. I bet you won't nobody else get to touch no little boy.
No, it wasn't about touching boys. It was about transferring money up to a certain amount. It was a part
I remember.
And he transferred. He took out that money, so the shit got reported. So they investigated what the fuck he was doing with it, and that's how he got caught.
Because they were trying to make sure dope dealers wasn't getting their money moving around.
Basically, dope dealers and Al Qaeda was the thing, but yeah, dope dealers is what.
Al Qaeda is a cover for dope dealers. You know what I mean?
And,
we'll use this shit for Al Qaeda, and then we go get dope dealers.
What's the Republican that's on the January 6th panel? I can't think of his name. Kinzinger. He's from there now.
Yeah.
He represents there now.
So that's that area. And if you remember, Kinzinger got a lot of backlash from that area when he spoke out against Trump. They're very even the Republicans in that neighborhood are very mad at him. So that's where X went to go get his shot.
Yeah, because there was no line. There was no
lines, no waiting.
Yeah, it was very easy to get the appointment. There was no lines, and I had choices.
So you're trying to say, but I'm saying where I went, it wasn't no real line. I went in Koreatown. And I didn't, and I went in Koreatown for the same reason you went where you went. It's because I knew it wasn't gonna be no whole lot of motherfuckers there. It ain't got a name on it like CVS or no shit like no big ass sign say come get the shit. I'm going in the back door where they like, hey, we got some of that shit over here too. You know what I'm saying? That's why I went. Well, but I still see there's some opulence in having a fucking choice because again, when I got there, them motherfuckers didn't give me a choice.
No, they were like, you are getting. They're like, you are getting the Moderna. And everybody was like, we like free shit. And so we just took that free shit. That was one of the crazy things. And I posted about this. When I was in the hospital, they asked me, they go, have you gotten a tetanus shot? And I was in the last 10 years, and I was like, shit, man, I don't know. My track record with doctors is so haphazard, I couldn't tell you. And they're like, well, we're just gonna give you a tetanus shot. I was like, okay. Like,
oh,
and
yeah,
then
you definitely
as they're giving it to me, I was like, oh, right, like this is just a vaccine. Like this is a vaccine. The tetanus shot is a vaccine. It's a thing everybody gets. We all get who's not getting a tetanus shot? Like once every 10 years, you go get a tetanus shot. Like that's and here's the thing, they were like, we can't find how recently you got one, so we're just gonna give you one. Like here's how safe it is. Even if I had forgotten it'd been like 4 years ago or 3 weeks ago, I'd have still been fine with like an extra tetanus. Like that's how silly this shit is. And like and the reason I bring that up is because there are a lot of people who are like, well, the FDA hasn't approved it yet. Well, Pfizer's now approved, and now the goalposts are moved again, right? Like now they're like, yeah, but we don't trust the FDA either. And it's like, well, you were just saying that was the whole reason.
Yeah, but then why did you care about the approval?
Place.
If you didn't trust it, I don't care about the approval.
You know it also isn't approved by the FDA. Shampoo is not approved by the FDA.
It gets in your eyes.
Alcohol is not approved by the FDA. There's no Food and Drug Administration approved. It's literally poison. Alcohol is literally poison. Just because it, tastes good.
Well, there is an ATF. I think they just regulate who sells it. They don't give a fuck.
They're not like this is the good shit. You know what I mean? Like that's not their job. Essential oils, which I'm sure a lot of those fucking Huawei non-vaxxer people are like, they're definitely into essential oils, right? Like they're like, yeah, let's use essential oils and let's inhale that shit like through our nostrils in this sauna while we're doing hot yoga, but also let's not get vaccinated. Well, that shit's not FDA approved either.
Yeah, what if I told you patchouli was made up of ground up hippies?
Right. It smells it.
There's no way you would know. There's no way you would know. Like it's just ground up hippies.
You know what else isn't approved by the FDA? Baby formula.
Really?
Yeah. Not approved by the FDA. So like my point is it's
somebody
like
approves that shit though, right?
I mean, babies, I guess, they're the only ones eating it.
I know. It's gotta, wait. Time out. It's got to be a government entity that oversees baby food. You ain't gonna.
It's not approved by the FDA.
It's the American Pediatric Association.
No,
Maybe.
I'm saying it's somebody like the Food and Drug Administration.
It's the American
FAO
Pediatric
Schwartz.
Association. It's the American Pediatric Association. They have their logo on the
Jeffrey
shit.
the giraffe from Toys R Us. He takes a bite and he's like, this is terrible.
The reason why
any baby food you buy says APA on it.
That's
okay,
just
that's
that doesn't mean like that doesn't mean
that's not a government entity. Is it?
I don't know.
It's not a government entity, but I think they are.
Why I know it's one. Let me tell you why.
Here's the point. Here's the point though. Like the fact that there's even a question over whether of who is or what is or whether it is just proves that we have consistently just put shit in ourselves without checking labels forever and continue to now, right? Like they tell you all those stories when you walk into Starbucks store where the fucking beans come from. You have no fucking idea. You're not checking.
They can have those beans in the
alley.
Shit. Yeah, they could be making those beans in the alley on 73rd.
Yeah, you're not checking shit. You're just going there being like, all right, well, I'm sure. And you know why you normally will do that is because an organization has said that it's okay, right? Like somebody's been like, yeah, that shit's fine. Well, here the FDA is saying the shit is fine.
Subway wasn't selling tuna.
So like, yeah, here's the other thing is that the same people that argue that are also taking drugs that are meant for farm animals instead, which are, by the way, also not FDA approved. I don't know if you know this. The link that I actually added for the show wasn't even of a single article. It was just for the Google search because there's so many stories coming. Like
a woman.
Iowa farm store customers seeking unauthorized animal deworming drug. Louisiana public health officer pleads don't take horse meds. Let's see. FDA urges people not to take worm drug to treat COVID. Texas sees 550% spike in poison calls for horse and cow dewormer. Uptick in Mississippi poison control calls. Like every state where Dr. Kentucky farmer, like you name the state where you're like, where do you think dumb people would try some shit like this? And it's like, there's where the poison spikes.
Bobby, my phone is about to die, so I can't find the exact quote, but there was a woman who...
You're a man in your own home. How is your phone about to die?
because I forgot to bring.
What type of ocean shit is this?
I just bought a new phone. I got the Google 5A.
Oh,
and,
shit.
That's 5A, the Google 5. Yeah, the Google 5.
Okay.
Anyway, and
you're not folding your phone.
Yeah, I broke this one when I saw you.
No, I mean, you're not folding your phone. You're not doing the phone.
No. I wanted to go Google, and I'm going Google. I plan to go Google anyway. Anyway, long story short, I saw a thread of a woman who she was taking the ivermectin because she was on some thread like about how this was healthier and shit.
Right.
And this was literally her comment. I took it just like I was directed, but then I shit myself at the grocery store. So I want to know, is that a normal side effect or what? And somebody was like, wait a minute. You don't want to take the vaccine, but you're okay with something shitting yourself? If like something making you shit yourself, if that's a normal side effect?
Yeah, like what's crazy is like the doctor's like, yeah, that's kind of what happens when you're a human being and take horse dewormer. Do you know what dewormer?
Shit herself.
Horse like there's like, okay. Not everybody knows about Mr. Hands.
Please don't.
And I'm not suggesting you go find out a lot about Mr. Hands. But Mr. Hands is a tragic tale of a man who has an interaction with a horse that doesn't go well in a sexual manner, okay? And so, like, if that's how that goes in that instance, you just have to assume that anything that is made for horses is probably just too much for people. Including dewormer. You know what I mean? Like if you start shitting out part of a colon from the multiverse because that's how much of your colon you're shitting out, you're probably too deep, you know?
Oh my God.
Yeah, see, part of the problem here is that, you know, y'all keep not wanting to let me say what I have to say. Like, you know, like it just gets to a point.
Oh no, I want you to say it.
Man, some of these motherfuckers just some dumbass crackers, man. You just got to face the fact like they ain't never been around nobody black. They just stupid. They ain't never been around nobody black enough to tell them, dude, do not take the shit you give to the horse. Now, I'm saying like, at one point or another, we got to be like, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like at one point or another, we got to be like, fuck you. Maybe you do not deserve to keep breathing because you are a detriment to the entire herd. Like,
the problem is they still clogging up the fucking hospitals though.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
That's the issue is that like, you know, on top of all the people getting COVID, including those who are taking this dewormer, there's a bunch of people who either have COVID and wouldn't have crazy symptoms, or like didn't have COVID, but now because they took some fucking dewormer are in the hospital taking up space because of poison problems.
Now, what I mean? The guy that told him to do it, he got the vaccine.
Yeah, and he even told him to get the vaccine, and then they booed him.
That's the crazy shit. That's the crazy shit. Did you see how quick
Jones called him a dumbass? They turned out.
Did you see how quick he folded? Did you see? That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's everybody. I want everybody to focus on the chink in his armor. As soon as they start booing a little bit, he turned into a bitch.
He was like, freedoms.
If he was the guy that they think he was, he would have said, I said what I said. I used to go to Nation of Islam. I ain't never seen a crowd make Minister Farrakhan change his mind.
No, I've been to two Saviors days. There's no balking at the challenge.
Minister Farrakhan make go, okay, you know, maybe the Jews are okay.
hey, let me tell you this. I'm gonna tell you how much better a man that you are than me. I have never been to Savior's Day.
Oh, you gotta go. It's super dope.
It's wild. It's crazy.
I love the minister. I don't agree with everything he says.
I wouldn't go now.
Love the minister. I love the minister. He's a great orator. You'd love it. Plus, it's just dope because it's like just an island of dope of good-looking black folks. That's nice.
This is the thing that's crazy though. This is the sign for me that result is a sign for me that the people that we're dealing with on the other end of this problem, who also fall into the same camp of the save the children conspiracy theory, Jews are the problem, it's the gays and black people, immigrants coming for our jobs, we need to have guns. Like it's that same it's that circle Venn diagram where it's everybody, it's all those, it's that same crew. That is the proof that although Trump was like a lightning rod for that shit was there before him. And if he goes the wrong direction, it will swallow him whole too, because the power grab for that purity concept that they push and want to cling to is far more vital than like any idol that they put up in front of them. Anybody that will maintain or further that goal for them is someone they'll deal with, and anybody else is like they will disregard you in a heartbeat. And he kind of noticed that being the situation, which is why he bombed out of it. Of course, in the real world, studies that are happening right now, the COVID vaccine has obviously been proving to be safer than getting COVID. They've done actual studies to determine like the risks of both, because that's what people are. People like to bring up in arguments the percentages of potential of death or whatever. This is infinitesimal. This is whatever. And like they did an actual real world study to see like what are you at greater risk of if you take the vaccine and maybe get COVID still, or if you just like roll the dice and see how the world treats you. Yeah. And it seemed to me, I was just like, is this a study that we need?
Dude, no, people are stupid. Last year, around this time last year, it was maybe September, they had a study that everybody was putting around talking about. They were trying to say, see, the death rate isn't even different. COVID's just a normal whatever, right? And they were showing like the death rates for the previous years and showing the death rate for 2020. And all of them were too stupid to realize, hey, dumbass, it's August. There's still like 4 more months. We've already matched every other year. That means that there's more people dying.
Dude, I remember that. It was April. Because I was like, wait a minute. We only 4 months in the year. What the fuck?
Yeah, it was early on when they said that shit. They were bringing that shit up early on.
Yeah, do you motherfuckers not understand how numbers work?
Well, those are the same people. Those are the same people who will tell you that more white people are killed by police than black people. Right? Which is like numerically correct. But as a percentage of population is ridiculously false.
And percentage of like interaction.
Yes, and percentage of interaction. It's crazy. It's a crazy false, concept that they're putting out there.
And I literally remember like back when arguing with motherfuckers on Facebook was a thing I did. There was a white dude who kept saying, when you start bringing up ratios, I don't want to talk to you because you got to bring up ratios, as if that wasn't actual like concrete a point of view argument. And like when you talk about ratios, that you're like, yeah, if you talk about whole numbers, you moron, there's significantly more of you. We're 13% of the population. Like our numbers shouldn't be close to yours.
So with this vaccine, with the Pfizer vaccine, they were looking at a potential like 25 potential side effects. And there were only like 4 of them that were actually even strongly associated with the vaccine. But even those, like myocarditis, which is inflammation of the heart muscle, is like crazy rare. Like, and this is after doing a study of like 2 million plus people who've gotten the vaccine. So like,
I got 3 of them.
Like, what are you doing?
I got 3 of them.
You're boosted already.
I got the 3rd one. I thought I talked about it last week.
Yeah. That's right. That's right. Yeah,
I'm like, fuck you, stupid ass bastards. I mean, even the stupid bastards that I love. Let me tell you why you're stupid. Because you're not looking around you. You are not looking. You are present in the moment. You can go. You have all of the information, both bullshit and real. So then look at the neutralist part of the thing that you could find and take a consensus. And you will find that every one of them is saying the exact same thing. And I'm saying not the national ones. Go to the local spots. Start looking at they shit. Look at these people pulling up refrigerated trucks. Look at the fucking people in the hospital crying out for help.
Crying out for the vaccine now that they fucking are too sick. They're getting put on.
Wait, time out. Fuck them. It took them too goddamn long. Fuck them. I'm talking about the people that work in the hospital. I'm talking about the people who doing their goddamn best to keep your stupid ass alive. And this is the shit you gonna keep doing? Man, fuck all of y'all.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. That was an actual applause. That was not sarcasm. I 100% agree with you, man. Because the idea of even the people who, like, I made a post the other day, it's like, you know, if it's my time, it's my time. People who say that never act like that when it's their fucking time. When they're in the grips of realizing it's their time, they're not all chill like, oh yeah, it's my time, I guess. Nah, they really wish it wasn't. I've seen that shit before. Nobody wants to go.
No.
Nobody wants to go.
No.
So to act like that, if it's my time, is a real asshole move. But not just because if it's your time. Fuck if you don't infect anybody else. If you just got infected and got sick enough to die, you take up a fucking hospital bed.
It's just not authentic, man. It's not an authentic statement to even say that because it's just not real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not real. And so, you know, I'm happy to I'm ready to get the booster when they put the booster out. Obviously, you know, it's funny too. I got that tetanus shot and my arm, like a day and a half later, couldn't lift my arm any higher than this because that fucking thing was fucking stinging. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Vaccine, it's got to do the thing. And I felt weird for it. I was like, oh right, yeah, like that's what vaccines do. It fucking has to kick your shit off. It's so ridiculous, man.
I don't know many people who do, but because of where I used to work, I get hepatitis B vaccines.
Yeah. Yeah. You gotta get all that shit when you're working in certain places just to protect yourself, you know? So places where we're no longer protecting, we have been getting our ass out of Afghanistan over the last couple of weeks. They set a date, they're not moving it. The move to try and get these people out here has been crazy. They're trying to get a ton of people
explosions.
out. Yeah, that the attack on Kabul was insane because, you know, it's so wild to see because you get read the story about who the Taliban is. And they're fucking marauders and blah blah blah. And then they show up and yes, they want to put in some shit that I obviously don't agree with when it comes to how people should be treated, how society should exist. But they also showed up and were like, yeah, man, if the people that need to get on a plane that are American, we're letting them get the fuck out. We're obviously going to take our shit over here, but like, you know, the people, like it was a weird like civility that was coming. They're like, yeah, we're going to do shit by, you know, our laws, but like, yeah, people got to get out. You know, we'll let them go. We'll lead them to the date to get the fuck out. And it's like, yeah, oh, that's right. There's a set of human beings. But then what's even crazier is this ISIS-K shit shows up, and it's like, who is trying to have the U.S. and the Taliban mad at them at the same time? What size are the balls on the person who just like fuck both the Taliban and the U.S.? That is heavy, dog.
We usually go Bobby, XL, Rob, but this time, Rob, I'm gonna give you the floor first because I have some thoughts that I think I'm feeling the Rob role in this one. But go.
Well, my first thought is this: those are people logically who have lived worse than the motherfuckers are living before them. So that means there is a level of life. There is a level of existence that's worse than being the Taliban. Now, let's think about this just for a second. I'm going to get off you, XL. Let me just ride this ride for a second. These motherfuckers fought the Soviets and went in the mountains and hid. These motherfuckers living in places that nobody else want to live. They are from this area. They know this area. Now, it's a group of motherfuckers that ain't even getting the mountain. You know what I'm saying? And those are the motherfuckers like, oh, you gonna listen to me too. So that's what I'm thinking. XL? Okay.
Now, I'm gonna do a little bit of Rachel Maddow right here, so just bear with me for a second, okay? Y'all remember last year around this time when the protests were happening and there was a lot of shit happening at night, motherfuckers kept calling them riots or whatever, and two cops got shot in LA. I think one of them got killed. Yeah, and it happened. Yeah, I remember that. It happened in the hood, and they were trying to blame it on Black Lives Matter and shit. Y'all know nothing ever came of that, right?
Right.
Two cops got killed. They never found who did it. Okay. When it happened, I said it's bullshit. Nobody from the hood is gonna kill two cops in their hood.
I remember having that conversation with you.
The cops are gonna come down like crazy. They're gonna turn the hood upside down. You shitting on your own house to do that. That would they do it somewhere else. They wouldn't do it smack dab in the middle of their own hood. That don't even make sense. And you see a year later, two cops. You ain't heard shit about it, right? Because it was fugazi out the gate. Like Bobby said, who the fuck wants the Taliban and the United States on their ass, right? It was a peaceful, a semi-peaceful, somewhat peaceful departure.
It was way more peaceful than I thought this shit was gonna be. I thought there would be people running and getting run down in the streets.
There was no reason to attack the U.S. The U.S. wasn't taking shit away from them, other than people who wanted to get the fuck away from them, right? So there's no reason for that attack, except for there's 5 U.S. companies that for the last 21 years have been raking in a massive amount. We talk about billions and billions and billions of dollars that we spent in Afghanistan. Them motherfuckers are riding around on camels, nigga. They didn't keep all that money. Where did billions go? It came right back to America, to Raytheon and all these motherfuckers.
There he is. There he is.
So who would be bold enough? Who would be bold enough to bomb a motherfucking spot near the airport and have the Taliban and the United States on their ass? Some motherfuckers who scared to make another billion and
Betsy
$100 billion.
DeVos's brother, yes. Eric Prince.
A group of motherfuckers who stand to make billions of dollars when the war shit starts kicking back up because they keep selling shit to these stupid motherfuckers. Man, ain't no way in the world motherfuckers riding camels picking a fight with the U.S. when they leaving. These niggas are celebrating in the streets technically because they kicked U.S. ass, man. These niggas in the last 40 years beat the Russians and the United States, and now they gonna try to pick a fight to keep some shit going. Why the fuck would they do that?
Dude, you getting me mixed up. I follow everything you said except for that last piece, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because these are 2 different types of Muslims. They fight each other like they fight us. You understand?
I totally get that. I totally get that. There's a reason. Why would you? Why? Okay, but you want to fight them. Why would you Why would you create an ally for them? Why would you create somebody who the United States was leaving?
You know that they ain't gonna really be an ally. What I'm saying is, you motherfuckers never counted us in to begin with.
Here's the thing.
You missed the point, Rob. If me and Bobby are fighting against you,
all of those things. It could be.
I know, but
hear me out. It can be all those things, and here's why. Because after 20 years of being involved in the Middle East, if you don't think Raytheon has embedded people into this group that is now ISIS-K,
yeah,
like it can be both the fact that ISIS-K and the Taliban don't agree on what type of Muslim you should be, but it can also be that Raytheon is putting people in both these groups that are amping up the shit that goes on all the time because they're in the business of war.
Yeah. All I'm saying is my point with the Raytheon thing is because it makes no sense. I understand they want to fight the other Muslims, but why would you get the other Muslims? Why would you get the USA on your ass? They're not going to help the
US
Taliban.
Involved is the weird part for me.
Yeah, like then you're going to have 2 motherfuckers shooting at you instead of 1.
Literally, hold on. The craziest shit was Joe Biden said some shit about like, you're gonna pay whatever. We're gonna go to the.
We're not gonna forget.
Yeah. So they asked Jen Psaki today, like, what did he mean by that? She straight up said, she goes, well, what he meant was he would like to remove them from the face of the planet. Just like straight up, just like. No, nothing. No, not just looked at her. Just like would like to remove them from the face of the planet so they no longer exist here, or some shit like that. It was just like
you're not looking. This the problem with both of y'all theories.
I don't have a theory. My theory is backing the corporate idea.
Man, I think that's not a bad idea. I'm not saying that's not a hand in it, but you got to find somebody that's willing to die. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Well, there's many
willing to die.
That's
not your everyday individual. So
they ride camels, man. It's a lot of niggas probably ready to die.
Right. So that's what I'm saying.
Like that's racist. That's racist, but that's also a fact of what's going on.
Yeah, good people here with money commit suicide here, so I know.
Like they see it. Here's the thing: 20 years ago, when this fight started, they didn't know what it was like to live in America. They saw some shit maybe sometimes in a movie or on TV because Afghanistan did used to be.
Here's the other thing.
But they didn't know. Now they know. Now they hold that shit in their hand just like everybody else. They got phones and shit.
Here's the other thing. There's a lot of people that the U.S. like there are people who are employed by the U.S. there who had title and rank or whatever, who did big jobs, who for sure are out of there. But you know how it works after 20 years in a place. You know how it is when you're in the military. You got there's a bunch of people that you deal with that are not on the books, right? That don't have a document that says I work with the U.S. And now these motherfuckers have been feeding the U.S. shit this whole time. They got to get the fuck out. They find out there's no spot for you on any of these big ass aircraft. You got to deal with these motherfuckers riding in. You know what I'm saying? And now, I mean, if somebody's mad at the U.S. and the Taliban, it seems like somebody who had done some work for one of them who's not going to get a fair shake out the deal. There's a number of ways it could go. I don't know.
Somebody didn't get their check. I didn't think about that.
That is my point.
You
and
know,
then
like,
you already willing to die anyway. You ain't got
Yeah.
shit, and you willing to die. Well, what
Right.
the fuck?
Right. Yeah. I mean, with both those two things, it could. Speaking of getting your check, somebody who earned theirs, Officer Byrd is the police officer who shot Ashley Babbitt on January 6th. If you remember, there's one fatality that came from police shot, somebody trying to crawl through. This one was crawled through, like they basically sealed off an area where I think it was Pence or somebody was just down the way. They were just getting out of there, and it looked like a good. I mean, I don't know exactly what the steps are, but it seemed like they yelled to get the fuck off. You know.
I don't know why I haven't done it yet, man. There is a clip of Trump saying he murdered that great American, and for what? And I would just love to have that clip played, and then right after he says for what, the last seconds of Ashley Babbitt's life, because the for what is very fucking obvious. There is a fucking mob breaking windows like they're goddamn zombies or something.
Right.
Trying to break into a chamber where there were members of Congress.
I still say
that's a real strong.
I'm amazed that that's the only person who got shot and killed that day in that process.
Hey, you want to know something?
I know other people died from other shit, but like I'm amazed.
And those were all cops, I believe.
Because that is just some wild ass shit, man. Like that insanity and not having any type of like. I mean,
did you
I'm
watch
used
the whole interview?
No, I've got snippets from it and I've watched clips from it, but I haven't seen it.
He doesn't say it, but they talk about the shooting, and I kind of get the energy from him that he was like if you had a smoke with him on low key, he'd be like, "Yeah, I can't believe I'm the only motherfucker that shot. Did none of these other niggas shoot? Did none of these motherfuckers shoot?
I mean,
I'm the only one that shot."
I mean, he did say
what was going on, but he couldn't see what was happening.
He talked about some of the stuff that was going through on the radios and some of the stories that were going through, and some were crazier than even what exactly was happening too. So like the idea that they weren't just like, oh, well, obviously, fuck it. You know what I mean? Like the fact that nobody Yosemite Sam their way out of there is insane to me.
Part of the thing that, and me and Rob have had different disagreements about this, but every time I watch that video of when she gets shot, I believe a lot of that shit would have ended quicker if they had shot. I know that there were people there with weapons. They were trying to get that shit to happen. But the way that those motherfuckers stopped, it was like a scene, like if you're filming a movie and like somebody fucks up the line and they look like they hurt themselves, like everybody's like, oh, like they just stopped. And like there was no more storming the gate.
Yeah, the question is how many.
Let me explain to you what's happening. Let me explain to you what's happening, because I didn't listen to much of this shit out here. Okay, but let me take you exactly what's happening.
I think Rob is just fed up with it.
Yeah, like
I'm over this bullshit y'all are peddling. Now I'm about to fucking write this whole scenario up.
Here's part of the issue. First of all, I felt a whole bunch of different shit because I felt for him for being the man that had to do it, because I know these crackers gonna already hate on him, and this motherfucker did exactly what he was trained to do.
His entire fucking job.
You guys are not taking into consideration. You don't get to wear a suit in the Capitol and guard people who handle the law and be just any dude. You understand? Yeah. You got to get this job after being in other jobs similar to it and being one of the better ones at that job. And by that, I mean at the overall doing the shit. Right?
Like that guy that guided him up the stairs.
On top of that, you got to be a certain motherfucker when you get ready to shoot somebody and you know you're finna shoot him, because I've been there. I almost shot a nigga once. The reason I didn't shoot him because he didn't pull out a weapon. Had he pulled out a weapon, he'd have been dead. And I would have been on the someone. Now dig this shit. This was the crazy part now. According to where you shoot the person, and I don't mean on the body.
Right.
I mean in the atmosphere. In the atmosphere. It is different than when you shoot someone outside. Now, dig, there is a possibility you can shoot someone outside and someone hit a pop, but they don't know what it is. But when you right there in a hallway that is already cavernous and you pop one, every motherfucker knows what's happening. And that's why the hallway cleared out. And that's why you seen the people come and secure the area a little better than it was. Plus, they had to get that damn bitch out of there. So it's a whole lot of shit that is happening at that moment.
Oh my god.
It's a lot of shit that's going on.
Speaking about getting a dead bitch out of there, Dylan Roof is set to be executed for
Wow! I heard
his
that.
South Carolina church massacre.
I heard that, and I was like, how's he gonna complete that sentence? And you did it. Man. Wow. I feel like that was like watching Sully Sullenberger land in the fuck.
Oh my god.
Like, what the fuck is he doing? And you realize, like, oh
Hey
shit.
man, this nigga that had a 2-assist night in this bitch.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Dylan Roof, he massacred 9 people in 2015. Was that what it was? 9 was the total? Did 9?
At
Yeah,
church.
yeah.
That's
Yeah.
it's really at a church. Yeah, Black South Carolina congregation at church, 9 people. You know, he remorseless essentially about all of it. You know, doesn't feel one way or the other about it, which is also a problem. I don't believe in the death sentence, even for this. I know that probably is not how everybody operates, but as someone who is not sure what the afterlife is, I don't feel the idea of taking away whatever potential time for regret is available for someone on the planet. Like that doesn't fit with my mode.
My capitalism dislikes the death sentence because it's more expensive.
Right.
It's much less expensive to just let a person live miserably in a jail and rot to fucking jail.
I mean, I honestly feel like that. If you're trying to punish somebody, keeping them alive to me is definitely a better punishment, right? Like making someone have to live in a world for like how does this?
Because at some point, that dude is probably going to realize, oh fuck,
yeah,
oh fuck,
yeah,
and then he has to live with that. Yeah.
The biggest punishment anybody can be stuck with is having to live with what they've done. To me, that is, I don't understand. Like, you know, some of the crap, I definitely have not been a perfect person, and the mistakes I make sit with me still, some of which I knew at the time, some of which I've learned over time, some of which I've realized later were mistakes I made as a younger person. You know, just like I said the other day, the last week we were talking about that baseball player, the baseball announcer who did a Asian accent. And I talked about how at some point I realized like that was not a good thing to do, but like everybody in the 80s, it was a no-brainer that if there was any talk about Asian food, somebody was going to do something. And nobody, not even Asian people around you, had the agency to be like, we don't like this. And at some point and now I look back on doing that, I go, that was shitty probably. You know what I mean? Like that was a shitty thing to be doing. And so I
said sweetie until like 2010.
So like the idea of keeping this person alive, is trouble. I don't know how do you guys feel about it? I mean, what are your thoughts on death penalty?
My short statement on death penalty is I'm basically the same place you are. I used to be super that old the Robin Harris joke, you know, put him on a bitch, you know, and I did a report on it in college, and I realized that it affected Black people, people of color in general. You know, and not just people of color, but poor people. So poor white people and people of color in a way that was just heinous. And since then I've been against it as well.
Yeah.
I am not for the government killing anybody. I am not for the government killing anybody.
I know exactly where you're standing. I thought you were just like street justice, nigga. We'll get this ourselves.
I mean, you know, I'm not really.
You're like,
why should they get to do it?
I'm not for the government doing it. Hand it back to the hood.
That's where it's set at. That's really where it's set at. I don't want to kill nobody else. If I can't go out here and shoot motherfuckers, then you can't. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want me out here blasting these stupid motherfuckers that look like you, then stop killing people altogether.
Yeah, the way my personal view when I say I'm agnostic works is I'm not even sure if any of the things that we do structurally here are what we were meant to do, if we were meant to do anything at all. So who's to say that any of this process, including murder, like for all you know, you could die and you can get to heaven and God could be like, y'all weren't killing each other this whole time. Like you got in. Like it was survival of the fittest all the way down to like murder till the last one of you. Like that's the whole game. Like that. Like how do you know? You have no idea. You've just been living.
I hear God
so,
like orgasm, killing a person. Like they're right there.
I mean, you wouldn't know, right, until you got there and it was revealed. So like for me, the idea of like snuffing somebody out over whatever the heinous crime that they've committed. It's not justice, you know what I mean? Like most people who've gotten that don't feel like that's been justice for them, you know? And I just, it doesn't fit for me. So they are going to execute him though for what he did. When it comes to executions, we all know about Jeffrey Epstein. Suicides, my bad. When it comes to those, whoops. Jeffrey Epstein, I don't know. No, his life ended in this jail in New York, I guess is where this jail is. Mm-hmm. And they are, man. See, the problem with conspiracy theories is that we keep doing things that just kind of feed into them. You know what I mean? Like I remember being younger and reading conspiracy theories and people always being like, and then they wiped it off the face of the earth. And if you go out to this island now, you won't see the thing there where they did it, but for sure it happened here. And like the jail that Epstein either committed suicide or was murdered in, they're closing it, of course.
Oh shit! I didn't see that story. I missed that story on our list. Damn.
They're closing the jail, man. You're fucking it all up. You're gonna drive people insane. This is gonna drive people nuts.
Yeah, hey, man. That nigga had an island. He had an island, and he transferred his shit into a trust. I don't believe the nigga dead anyway. But go ahead.
I mean. That doesn't.
I picked the third option.
That's a whole other conspiracy theory. Is that
he had what he had like $250 million, like 200 million, something like that, 300 million.
Yeah.
That's enough to pay some people to say that he did. That's enough to pay somebody to say he did.
All I know is that if you die controversially and you're as big as a name as Jeffrey Epstein is, especially in today's current climate. And then the jail in which whatever happened to you mysteriously is going to get closed down. Like the nut jobs, the guys who haven't fucked in 17 years are going to lose their shit.
And this is how far ahead these rich motherfuckers are than we are. Because they have a legitimate reason to tear it down. They just didn't give a fuck to until now. Right.
They could have closed that shit down a long time ago.
They could have closed that motherfucker down 10 or 15 years ago, but was like, nah, fuck them niggas. Let them rot in that bitch. Then one of them dudes that had to kill got in there like, oh yeah, kill all the evidence.
It was probably the way they could do it. They're like, here's how we do it, right? You get it. You just got to send somebody good there, and then we'll have a reason to close the whole place down. We'll have an error happen there, and then we'll lose this high profile like suspect that we've got. And then it'll be like all the impetus we need to close it down and we can wipe everything out. And then
because it would be hard to convince me that he wasn't killed. It would be amazingly hard to convince me that. I mean, I know he had reason to have committed suicide, but the way you're supposed to watch a dude like him, no, man.
And it can still happen. It can still happen. You know, I know.
If it's a suicide, there was a suicide with an assist.
If somebody wants to kill themselves bad enough, they will figure it out. They will.
I know, but I'm saying like if they do, that's very true. That is 100% true. But if you already know they want to kill themselves and you know you're supposed to be back in there within 2 minutes, you take 20. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes. It could be an error of like purposeful lacks, right? Like who gives a shit if this guy kills himself or not? Whether I come in 2 or 20, this guy fucking did this horrendous shit.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is somebody paid you and told you, or somebody who ordered you around, go over there and do X, Y, and motherfucking Z because I have personally done it.
You know. In my feelings,
hey, nigga, don't be admitting to that shit.
In my feelings about the people that he was involved in, I mean, some of the most powerful people on the planet. So like the odds of that being likely don't seem crazy to me, only for that reason, right? So who knows? In a different universe, who knows what it been? Different universes. Spider-Man No Way Home trailer is out. Rob, have you seen the No Way Home trailer?
I did not, but I did see the last What If.
Yeah, the latest What If.
Oh my God, dude! These people are perfect storytellers, and they are perfect in so very many ways. In the way that it's so much depth in what goes on with these people. Like all this shit connects, and it connects in so much logical ways, and it's just crazy.
Dude, I'm excited about Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi, thank you. Shang-Chi, I'm excited.
They even got a commercial out where he pronounces the shit for the chick on there on the fucking flight going over, and she's like, Sean. He's like, Sean.
And I just did it. Yeah. Sean. Well, Shang-Chi. Okay. Cool.
Like song with an H in it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Shang-Chi.
Whatever. Shang-Chi. Down being rude. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just high. But I'm excited about that. But back to like the Spider-Man thing, Hannibal just picked up one of the Marvel checks. Shout out to Hannibal.
Yeah, Hannibal loves shout out. Oh yeah. Yeah,
that was why we was making my thing.
So the trailer's wow, because they were talking about this multiverse shit's popping off everywhere. And the premise of this movie essentially is that, at the end of the last one, they revealed that Spider-Man is Peter Parker, so everybody knows. And so he gets in this issue where now he wants to fucking make everybody forget that's who he is. So he has Doctor Strange cast a spell, but he fucks it up. Like
that's Doctor Strange.
There's an argument that
Doctor Strange love shout outs. Did you say shout out to Doctor Strange?
No, he said that's not Doctor Strange. He thinks it's
not
Mephisto. So in the comic books, Spider-Man makes a deal with Mephisto to make the world forget that he's Peter Parker, right? And so he makes he doesn't make the deal. Mephisto offers him the deal and he turns it down. And then Mary Jane makes the deal for him to save Aunt May's life because she knows that Peter would never make that deal. He could save Aunt May's life, but Mary Jane and everybody would have to forget that he's Spider-Man and who he is. Or he could, let her die and keep Mary Jane or whatever the deal was. So Mary Jane made the deal for him. And so Doctor Strange making this deal seems odd in the first place because people would say that although he's got bravado, so maybe he thought he could. Peter Parker fucks it up.
That's
there's also a question of when is this happening in time, right? Is it possible that the Harkness and Wanda fight and the Loki issue at the end of Loki and this are all happening in the same time, and that is what tears the universe open? Is it Spider-Man's fault, or is it just this coincidence of events that's happening at the same time? But whatever happens, before the trailer is over, we see a glimpse of the Lizard, which is from an early Spider-Man movie. We see Doc Ock. We see fucking Alfred Molina, who's back as Doc Ock. We see the Goblin Ball. So we see that. We see a giant sandstorm, and we see electricity everywhere, which is 5 of the 6. So
5 of the Sinister 6.
There's one more to come. What's great is these are all Sony villains. Which I think is interesting because it'd be interesting to see if they're going to pull Tom Holland over to Sony for a minute or what's going on. I did mention, I think last week or the week before, that Marvel wants the rights to Spider-Man so bad they have offered a variety of things to Sony, either A, for just the rights to Spider-Man, B, the rights to Sony's movie universe, like their entire movie catalog and their movie division.
I wish they would give it to him. God damn.
Or C, how about if we just bought you entirely? They have also said if you'd like to name a price, we would also offer to just buy you out just for Spider-Man, just so they can control Spider-Man. They're like, we would buy Sony for Spider-Man and access to all the characters. That is how much we want it.
I don't know. I don't keep up with this shit like I used to, but I used to be very into like movie business, like how much money different studios made and shit like that. There's a game called Hollywood Stock Exchange where you can trade it and stuff.
We've talked about that. You and I both have been on there.
Yeah. And Sony for years has been known as a dog. Like they're just shitty performance studio. The only thing they had was Spider-Man.
That's a big bank.
These motherfuckers have just been holding on to this shit for just for somebody who's thirsty enough to come and offer. That's the only reason for Sony Pictures to exist. It's basically Spider-Man, and there's like one other property, but I think Spider-Man is the main one.
That's been the whole thing, and the fight has been between Avi Arad and Kevin Feige, who's the head of Sony and the head of like Avi runs all the Spider-Man shit usually, and he and Feige do not. They don't get along that great. But I think they've pushed Arad out of the picture as far as that's concerned, which is a good thing, which is great. So there's been rumors that those guys are definitely going to be in it. It's good. They're bringing back Jamie Foxx. They're bringing back all those cats. There's also obviously been a longstanding rumor that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield were going to return. I can tell you what pictures I've seen. The pictures in the movie. They're going to be everybody coming back. They're bringing everybody back. Where they will go after that, I don't know, but it looks like it's going to be fun as shit.
You know who else I think is making an appearance in this movie? I think they're going to have Matt Murdock. The guy who plays Matt Murdock. I think he's going to make a cameo.
I think they're gonna like guys like Murdoch and Ryan Reynolds and a couple of these other guys like Charlie Cox. Those guys are gonna be guys that just like kind of pop up in different things from like shows to movies over the course of the next few years. I think as they expand this universe, like I think you're gonna see those guys kind of like dip in and out of stuff all the time, which is gonna be great. I don't know what's gonna it's gonna be a wild ride, man. It's about to get super crazy. This is gonna be out the end of the year. What's that?
I've seen Ryan Reynolds thing where he's going in like he's Deadpool and he's like asking Krug how to get on Disney Plus. How to get a show at this place. It's just hilarious.
Yeah. Tom Cruise. Guys, I think I might need to check out Scientology, dude. I might need to check it out. He's making Mission Impossible 7. This guy's like 57 years old or 58 years old.
Is he 57? I thought he'd be 60. God damn.
How old is Tom
He's
Cruise?
a Gen Xer? What's the top end of Gen X? Top end of Gen X is 50.
He's 59 years old. All right,
59.
he's out of the window, I think. He's born in 62. He's still in the boomer age. Just barely. 59 years old. This dude did a stunt in Norway where he jumped off a cliff on a motorcycle, hanging from a helicopter. The guy you talked about said Cruise trained for a year doing 500 skydives and 13,000 motorcycle jumps. They captured this on day one of principal photography. Genuinely scary watching them do it. Paramount should have featured it on the signature stunt of MI7, which is a giant motorbike jump off a giant cliff in Norway. They call it the hardest stunt Cruise has ever done. It's insane. This is from a guy who also hung off a plane at one point, right? This is also
wow.
Like. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't have that level of commitment for anything. Let me tell you something real quick. Okay, I was in the Army. And when I've never liked heights. I've been deathly afraid of heights my entire life. And at one point, I wanted to learn how to rappel off of shit because I was afraid of heights. And so the first day I was gonna go, they got some shit where you could jump out of helicopters and shoot down on people. I wanted to do that dumbass shit. And so I had decided I was going to first learn how to do this shit. Man, I jumped off the side of the tower. You got to let it go. You got to let the rope go so it could be slack enough for you to. I didn't let the rope go. So I slammed into the side of that motherfucking drill dome. I'm sitting flat on my ass looking up at the sky. And the drill sergeant looked over like, Private, you got to let go. I was like, Drill sergeant, you need to step back because I don't want you to get fucked up. I'm coming back up there. And he said, no, Private, I can't let you. I was like, man, I just don't want you to get hurt because I'm coming. And he was like, nah, Private, it's okay. And he talked me into it. And because it was the slick-ass black drill sergeant, I listened to him. If it had been a white boy, I would have fought my way up and they'd had to push me off the side of that motherfucker because I wasn't going. And so when I got to the bottom, they was like, okay, get Hines back up. He going back up. I was like, fuck you. It was in a wooded area. And I ain't lying, nigga. I went off in the woods and I hid and I put camo and shit on my face. What? I deserted him. I was like, fuck you. Here's the thing, man. I swear to God, if it had been some shooting, I'd have ran in there. But I am not finna let you hang me off of nothing goddamn else. And that wasn't the first time that happened. It happened again when they got this thing called the confidence course. And they want you to jump off of shit and climb up top of shit and people pull you up. I was like, all right, let's go. I'm pushing niggas up. I'm pushing niggas up. I'm pushing niggas up. They was like, all right, Hans, we come to get you. I was like, no, you're not. And I left. So I'm telling you, man, I was afraid of heights. And that was the only thing that I was like, I'm not going up. Nope. And I hid from them motherfuckers until it was time to go. And
So
when
I
the
guess-
truck came to take us back, that's when I wandered out the motherfucking bushes.
So I guess this means you have not done the milk crate challenge.
Hell no, I ain't finna climb on no.
No milk crate challenge. No milk crate challenge.
Hell
That
no.
is so. This is this new fucking. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with us, man? Like we have no health care in this country, right? Like every day we're just like, we need fucking health care. You got to give us health care. And then every night we're like, why don't we stack a bunch of weird boxes that we use for milk on top of each other and for no money at all? Just go ahead and walk up the inside.
The problem is
For $0. In fact, when we fall from this, we will probably incur a hospital bill, right? Like I'm gonna need a brace. Like that's like. Here's one of the reasons I stopped fighting, right? Like I was 27 years old, and I was at a base. I was working in construction. I was driving a big 40-ton Volvo truck, okay, and I had to be in a quarry at like 5 a.m. every day. And one night I went to a baseball game with my mom and my sister and her boyfriend, who was a friend of mine. And I got into a fight with two dudes as the game was ending and broke my fucking knuckle on this dude's forehead, beating the shit out of him and his boy. And so I sat in the hospital all overnight and had to miss work the next day. And I was working my way into getting into the union. And the guy who was my boss at the time, who was my brother-in-law, by the way, was like, you miss another day, you're fucking out. And so I was like, oh, right. Like I could cost myself income over some dumb shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
A simple injury that is like I could have not fought these guys. But man, if you'd have been there and I didn't fight these guys, y'all would have want to talk to me about not fighting. You know what I mean?
Like, you didn't push that nigga?
Like, you know, he said shit about my sister directly in front of my sister and my mother to our faces, right? Like, there was just no way. There's no way as a human being that I, as a person, should have had to have dealt with that any other way, right? So, like, there is no like, you're a rude gentleman, sir. Like, that's not.
I don't even know your sisters. I just have sisters, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, I was off at that point. So. But I nearly crossed and you know, yes, does it suck that we live in a world in which my job was somewhat hanging the balance over this? Of course. Yeah, I totally understand that. But also the idea of doing something that is avoidable, right? Like, that's why I don't play in no pickup leagues. I don't play in no flag football. I don't do any of that shit because, like, if I fuck my shit up, not only am I just going to miss some days, but then I got to go to the fucking hospital. And I guess, like, burning my hand over just cooking dinner was like enough bullshit. And that was just shit you got to do. You got to make dinner, right? I'm going to break my tibia playing a pickup soccer game. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I remember when I first moved to LA, these cats were trying to get me to play in some like rugby league. And I was like, are you asking me to come try out to be like on a salary? Because like with like insurance? Oh no, it's just like, no.
Dude.
Rugby, my nigga? Rugby?
When I first started doing comedy,
so I'm not doing the milk crate challenge either, by the way. I'm out on.
When I came back to Chicago, I didn't have insurance, and they used to try to get me to be in like leagues and shit. Like, oh shit, X, you back? Hell yeah, we need a big man. I was like, nigga, ain't no motherfucking chance. No coverage. Sorry, I just wanted to jump in.
You ain't got no insurance. You ain't doing it.
No.
I just always avoided shit that I knew. Like certain things I didn't avoid because I was like, you know what, fuck you. But other things, it would be like, you know what, this ain't worth fuck you. You know what I mean? Like, but it was just that the problem that I have that a lot of y'all didn't have is that I was in the atmosphere where it was a whole lot of, man, you know what? Fuck you. You know what? Fuck you. You know what? Fuck you.
Well, when I was younger, I used to fight and do stupid shit all the time and didn't care about insurance. But I was
my point is there's grown adult men who are doing this shit, right? There's like dudes. They're like, my point is there are dudes who are old enough to know better than to go climbing up some goddamn milk crates for $0, my dog.
Yeah,
like,
there's no money in it.
Even the dude who rolled the blunt on the way up and down, like he got a bunch of likes, but like, unless he is good enough to capitalize on that and then just starts doing a series of videos where he rolls blunts while like doing weird acrobatic shit, there's no future. I would totally watch it. I would watch it every day. I'd be like, I hope there's a new video.
I hope that blunt rolling guy does that. I want a career for that blunt rolling guy.
Real bad. I went for a real bad because that was amazing.
That was super cool.
I'm not getting on no milk crates. Well,
here's how talent too.
Here's how crazy it is. The shit is already banned on TikTok.
That's why I couldn't find any. I was looking for them. I was looking for them.
That shit's over. TikTok was like, we are not going to encourage anybody else to bust. You know, dudes are falling off shit on their head. It's just, I mean, you know.
You know what happened? Somebody's lawyers contacted TikTok. It was like,
TikTok's lawyer saw that. One of their kids saw that, and their dad, who's a lawyer, was like, let's call it TikTok right now.
Wait, I'll call the office right now.
Hey, Johnny Talk?
Shut this shit
that's
down.
what I'm about to say. Mr. Talk and Mrs. Pig was like, oh, fuck that. Cut that shit out of me.
Oh my God. Hey, nigga, I would literally die laughing if we found out at one point that it was literally like a dude named Tick. Like this Swedish motherfuckers named Tickens.
Heimbringer, Tick, and Talk. You know, just
some motherfuckers.
Had a video idea a long time ago.
Or some shit. No, like East Nigeria.
And some other crazy shit that is not as dangerous as the milk crate challenge, depending on who you are. OnlyFans had last week we were talking about how OnlyFans had decided to ban sexually explicit content. They decided that they were no longer going to do that. They were just going to you could show titties, but that was it, I guess, was what they were trying to narrow it down to. They have reversed that already.
Yeah. Hey man, I saw somebody break down some shit, Bobby, that you go feel. I don't know if you saw the video. I posted a video. This cat was like, "Hey man, that shit ain't about MasterCard because MasterCard takes money from all kind of motherfuckers that do porn and shit. Like, MasterCard don't fucking handle no money from regular porn sites. You know what I'm saying? So it couldn't have been that.
Well, go ahead.
But they was like, he was basically, short of it was, he was like, they trying to do this shit in October. That's around the same time that the unemployment funds end and all these motherfuckers talking about there's no jobs and shit. One of the reasons there's no jobs is because people were able to, not one of the reasons, a small, but a reason is people have found other ways to make money during the pandemic, during quarantine, the pandemic.
That is the most
one of those
patriarchal bullshit. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. Them bitches were not working at McDonald's. It is not that much revenue lost to bitches who have gone from McDonald's to OnlyFans, my nigga. That is not what
it's not. Listen though.
That is not the situation.
It's not just about it wasn't saying like it was only OnlyFans. Like it was basically saying that during the quarantine, people found other ways to make money.
Of course, during the quarantine, people found other ways to make money.
And
OnlyFans is not there's nothing threatening enough to OnlyFans in which they were going to ban sexually explicit. Like, you think people came to OnlyFans with enough money to get them to try and ban sexually explicit material to get people to go back to work? We got to get these hoes back to work, so we're going to...
Well, here's what I think.
That is the most patriarchal shit that I've heard.
This is what I was thinking. I was thinking from the perspective of the site itself. I thought it was a matter of getting advertising, right? And so if that was the case, then I was thinking, well, okay, if that's the case, then that means that you just don't want the women to make no money. You just want to make as much money. And if you can't make as much money as you want, then you're going to shut down the platform for them to do their thing?
I think they freaked out because they released their first transparency report last week. And within days, And within days, and their transparency report is about how many times that there are requests for information about people who are active on their platforms. And along with that, they had also released their first like no nudity at all app at the same time. And so part of it is like there's also a marketing angle in being able to make this declaration, watch everybody go crazy, see what happens, and then like scale it back when you want to. There's a marketing angle there too.
Some new Coke shit. Okay.
I mean, there's an angle there too. Or there's a potential of a combination of a little bit of some of that shit. I know verification was a big issue. The reason why Pornhub had an issue with the credit card companies is because there's a lot of unverified people that are on there, and now the only way you can be on there is by being verified. It's the same thing I think that happened with OnlyFans, is that there was a lot of interactions or transactions that were like not where somebody was not verified in regards to what was going on. That's still going to be an ongoing issue because at one point we're talking about making sure that everybody in the videos were verified. And some of these people are doing things with somebody who is not trying to give out their, information, right? Like, so that could be an issue if that's a continued part of what goes on as far as what they allow or not. But as far as it goes, they're not going to be doing that whole thing about cutting that off.
Yeah, because I was wondering if they was going to have a clearance sale to get as much as they could get before the shit was gone.
You was looking to get a discount on watching some cheeks clap, huh?
Yeah. 20% off while it still lasts,
Hey man, I say this all the time. I don't get I understand there are some very beautiful people on there. There's men on there too, Bobby. Patriarchal shit. There's men on there too.
I'm not accusing you of patriarchal shit. I understand I'm accusing the concept of being patriarchal.
I know. I'm just doing it for the joke. I'm just doing it for the joke, man. Anyway, but anyway, yeah. There beautiful people on there, but I don't understand like paying specifically for one person versus paying for like a service that just you have everybody.
I mean, it's the same reason why you subscribe to somebody's Substack, right? Like, you want to, like, if you subscribe to one of the people from Pod Save America's Substacks, it's because you want to read their shit specifically. It's just like if you met, and the other thing is a lot of OnlyFans are people who, I mean, there are many people with OnlyFans accounts that are people that also have like everyday lives in a world of entertainment or in a world of whatever. And so like, they're some of the big earners on OnlyFans are like big name celebrities who aren't necessarily all the way naked either, which is one of the reasons why they thought they could do that. But also we all personally know people who have OnlyFans accounts, right? And there are some people who are less capable on their own that also know some of these same people. Like for me, I haven't spent money on OnlyFans accounts because I've got enough live women to deal with. And although I'm not being shitty. I'm just saying, like, on top of that, I don't like on top of the money that's spent there. I'm not looking to spend additional money to see women that I know just to get to see them naked, right? Like, like the women that I know that I would like to try and make an effort to see naked, I just put the effort to see them naked. And like, I don't have an interest in like chasing down some of that other shit. And I don't want to see my friends behind a paywall. That seems weird to me. Right. But there are definitely guys I know that have friends they know that have OnlyFans that they would pay to go see. Hey man, if your personal fandom is also people that you know personally, that's a thing, right? Like that's what that creates. You know what I mean? Like
particular titties, baby. I guess those particular titties.
Speaking about particular, Kanye West is back in Chicago. He did Soldier Field last night. He had a listening party for Donda. I mean, I think he lit himself on fire. He lit himself on fire. This is my mock
Kanye shirt.
Did he light himself on fire at the end of that? Is that what the fuck he did? He built a church inside of the fucking stadium, by the way.
They said that was a replica of his mother.
A replica of his childhood home. Yeah.
But they had the steeple on it.
Yeah, with the okay.
I think it did. I think it did both. I didn't go to the concert. We have to ask Joe. Bring him up again. He was there.
I mean, that I've heard snippets from the album just from the video that people have taken that I've seen on Instagram stories. This is a wild. I mean, he is an artist for sure, right? There's no doubt about that. This guy is like, he's an avant-garde kind of cat. Is that just what we're gonna land on right now?
I haven't heard the shit yet.
He did have the baby and Marilyn Manson with him last night, which is like a homophobic dude and accused sexual assault.
Oh wow!
Which is
wow.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that. I didn't read the whole thing. I just seen somebody text a picture, and then they
That doesn't
said
help.
Kanye just let the baby back in the house. Literally.
That's funny.
It's
The baby has place for redemption. Marilyn Manson, sexual offender.
Yeah, he should be out of there. He's probably
AOD. Yeah.
That should be it for him, right?
I don't know. I don't know the case,
hold
but
on,
I'm assuming that he did some heinous shit. So
wait, guys, we're looking at this the incorrect way. Who is helping whom? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to give something to get something. So yeah, I'm gonna stand here with this rapist just so you can keep or whatever the fuck the dude did. Because
right, yeah, you're not gonna be mad at me.
I'm gonna y'all start doing that shit to me. I don't know what the motherfucker did.
Direct some of that hate towards them,
to me.
Yeah. Oh my god.
In the gaming world, Netflix makes video games now. They just kicked off their first gaming experience. They've got a Stranger Things game they've released, and I think one other one that they've got out, or two Stranger Things games they've got out right now. Obviously, I'm sure it's going to work in the similar manner with a subscription style method. That's the big move. I don't need any more gaming systems. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Yeah. Unless they have stuff out of this world, like I played MLB The Show, and it convinced me to go get a PlayStation.
You can barely these three main companies can barely keep their shit running.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? like they can barely, like, yes, every time they launch one of these things, it's a big deal. But if they were like, if they were really rolling with it, they'd announce there'd be a new console coming every 2 years for these motherfuckers, not every 5 to 10. You know what I mean? Like, that's just they would obsolete these motherfuckers like they do them phones. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Yep. So, you know, Sony sells your PlayStation. Sony sells your PlayStation. You have that shit for like 8-9 years and shit. That's the one. Then they gotta hope you buy games from them at the end of that shit. You know what I mean? Like that's all they got.
That's what I was about to ask. How long do you think before gaming is like Tidal and YouTube Music and shit?
Oh, it's not gonna. I don't think it'll be forever. Sony will not keep that game division forever. I don't know if it's really. They've been losing money on it, I know, for a long ass time.
I know, but I'm saying, do you think consoles will remain, or do you think eventually it'll just be just everything on the cloud?
No, the idea of needing that much, like the idea of needing something that size where you can probably put that all either in the TV or in some smaller package or something like that. I mean, look at what they've shrunk down to size now. You know what I mean? Like, they've got VR shit that you can play. The Oculus shit they're doing wireless headsets for that shit. Now, you can throw your phone in a goddamn VR thing and go walk around.
You had to bring in the VR shit, didn't you, Bobby? You had to bring in the VR shit, didn't you? I told you, I mean, fucking Google, you bastards. I'm loyal to your Google. I know you're listening. I'm loyal to you, and then you fucking canceled the Dreamcast shit on me, or the Dream, whatever it is.
In some other weird video game shit, there's a video game called Back for Blood that's coming out that's supposed to be a big deal video game. This is a weird ass story, man. So they've been doing beta testing for it, and the players are hearing zombies say a particular word.
Oh, this game, yeah. I forgot about that.
James, if you got the article, I think there's a clip from it in there. We might be able to hear it.
Here, let me see. I haven't actually heard the clip yet, but I've been hearing about the story. Let me see if I can.
I forgot about this until you like when you said they say a word, and I was like, oh, that's right. Yeah, it's totally bogus.
All right, hang on.
Like I think at the bottom of the second paragraph.
Here, I'm gonna play it for the people here.
Shut up, bitch.
Okay, that was definitely something. That was not that word. Hang on.
What did that zombie say? What did he say?
Hold on.
Hey, look at this big fuck. Shut up.
Wow, okay, I can't wait. Shut up, bitch. I think I heard it, though. I think I heard it online.
What did that zombie say?
Okay. Yeah.
What did he say?
That's
so.
I love the reaction too. What does zombie say?
That's for sure.
So
that
apparently.
word.
So they are working to fix this. They have been alerted of it. They are working to fix this. They said it was absolute mistake. It's a audio issue that happened because of two types of growls that were happening at the same time in the game. And they just happen to sound like nigger.
Of all the words in the world.
Of all the words it could sound like.
To form a word had to be a motherfucking oddity. And then of all the words in the world for it to form, here's one other thing. Just to take it back to the Marvel thing, I think all of this shit is exactly what it took for it all to happen. Like at that time, like it's like a combination lock. Like all of the random shit in the world happened just like existence itself, but based on what we know scientifically.
Yeah.
I know that beta test is very, very early. However, there are fucking coders who played that way before it got to the beta test. Way before it got to the beta test. And nobody saw that.
Show me all your coders are white without showing me all your coders are white. You know what I mean? One last thing, speaking of maybe missing the boat on something. There is a special game mode that is going on in Fortnite right now. That is that is the Martin Luther King game mode.
Gaming so what?
So just to be clear, Dr. Martin Luther King, peacenik, man who believed that peace was the thing he was be striving for. A lot of peaceful protests. Shouldn't be fighting. We can do this with our words. Is in a video game in which the sole goal is to grab up guns and just eliminate everybody else with those guns. The level, I've played it. The level that you go on to, first of all, it's your own character, right? Like whatever weird fucking giant banana, giant banana skin or fucking Firefox looking dude, or whether you're fucking LeBron James, you go you are in Washington DC, right? And this man's speech starts, the full 17-minute speech plays, and it plays like you're in DC. It's on all the fucking screens and shit. And then there are activities you can do. They built games into these things, okay? One of them being there's a sculpture or monument or whatever called the Pillars of Freedom, and it's these pillars that are at different heights that work in different, and like literally one of the games is to leap up the different pillars of freedom. And as you complete each of these tasks, you end up in what is, I think, a World War II memorial with these circles, and you get to light a flame. And the whole goal is to while the speech is going on in the background, you know what I mean? You're doing all these little side games. They take you different places. You can jump through a rift, and all of a sudden you're at the diner. You're at a diner where where Black people wouldn't give up their seat, where they're doing sit-ins. There's you go into one library, and there's a quiz where you can take this quiz that asks questions about everything from where Martin Luther King gave this speech to who was the person who refused to give up their seat on the bus. It's a whole.
Hey,
and when it's over, and when it's over, you can leave and then go back and murder a bunch of motherfuckers.
Yeah, you just go back and murder. Yeah, you just go back to straight killing people with AR-15s and rocket launchers and shit after that. It's
Hey, but you know what? I bet you the coders didn't let the word nigger get in there.
Hey, they didn't have no choice if they really wanted to reenact.
Here's what's wild is when they're doing some of their teaching moments, they were showing the different water fountains, and they actually had a white and a colored in the game. Which means, as was astutely brought up, that someone had to code that into oh yeah, we got to make sure you do the white and the colored bathroom. Right, we got to make it authentic. We got to make it
authentic. Yeah, make it like it was. Bring racism back.
So here's the thing: if you complete everything on the little level, you get one of the emotes is a spray paint thing where you can make a spray paint of something. It literally is a spray paint that says DC 63, which is the year of the speech.
Yeah, if they really wanted to make it realistic, while you were trying to accomplish your goals in the game, they just have a white cop come and beat the fuck out you, knock you off every fucking door.
Every once in a while,
that would have been more like it.
Every once in a while, you get hosed down. You get hosed down. You're running dogs the whole time. You're trying to complete all these tasks. That should have been the task. Instead, there's one task where you have to push this giant ball up a thing. And, you're pushing together. It works better as a team. So it's this whole. But it would have been way better if the events were escape these German shepherds that have been loosed upon you. Try to evade the super powerful water hose that the fire department is spraying at your face.
Hey, dig this, man. I was involved.
Hey, it would make motherfuckers appreciate the civil rights struggle. It's like, oh shit, this is really hard. I can't believe he did this and gave a speech.
Try and cover up and take the least abuse while you're being chained up in the paddy wagon. That would have been
my
the whole
God. Dude, that would become the new fucking CrossFit training and shit. Like,
did you doing the civil rights workout?
the Martin Luther King civil rights workout. You get hosed out, you get chased out.
Yeah, they do have emotes in the game too that are specific to that mode that you're playing in. So there's emotes. One of them is one of the emotes you hold up a protest sign. It's got interlinked hands that look like, the United Way hands, but there's 4 of them that say dream. It says dream on there. There's all types of shit. It's fucking crazy, man. It's crazy. It's so wild.
Man, their consideration was, let's make a part of Fortnite where you could go to church. You know what I'm saying?
Well, there are people that play the game that are like, they like the characters, they like the big worldview, but they don't really care about killing people. And they have a section, they have a mode that you can go into where there's no guns, where you can just go run around, like ride go-karts and shit like that. And like, that's where they do all the concerts and shit. Like J Balvin, I think, is doing a concert this weekend.
Oh, God.
And like, you literally just go in there and hang out, and nobody can, like, you can't die or anything. You just hang out there and watch the fucking shit and jump around. They have all types of, like, it looks like a concert space. It's wild. But yeah, go there and fucking
have guns. And I thought I always say, yeah, kids, you can't keep them away from guns now. And you just told me there's a way that there's a mom out there that can keep them away from guns.
Oh yeah, you can play Fortnite and stay away from guns for sure, 100%. Anyway, XL, man, you got anything going on this week? Where can people find you, man?
Dude, me and you are on the Codenames game show. Check us out. It's on Twitch. It's Tim/RIEL, Tim Real.
Tim underscore. Tim underscore.
I said dash underscore. Yeah.
RIEL, right?
Yeah. It's Monday night, 7:00 Central Time.
Yes.
And it's a super, super cool show. It's a fun show. All right, wait. I'm going to take both those supers back from how cool the show is.
It's a cool show.
It's a cool show. It's a fun show. Me and Bobby are pretty funny on it. We've done a lot. We were in the finals for the first season, and it's a fun show. And we're doing it Monday night. And then I'm back in the game in September, bitches.
Yeah. That's what I like to hear. Rob, where can people find you?
Summer off. Now, come on.
You can find me in this really silly reality show this evening. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I'm going to be tonight. I'm going to be at the Laugh Factory in Hollywood.
Okay.
Shooting some shit.
Nice.
Also, everything, Robert_L_Hines. And real quick, I don't have it right next to me, but I got my first product that I'm doing a commercial for that actually was mailed to me. Now I'm doing commercial for Easy Living Juice Bar, but this one was called, oh my goodness, oh shit, I'm so sorry. I don't have it right next to me. I'll talk about it next week. I promise you. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't even
send me your products. I'll talk about it one of the weeks after you get it to me.
Well, you know what, Bobby? This you gonna put me out there like that. I tell you what, you go ahead and tell me you're gonna be. By the time you get through, I'll show it to you. Hold on.
There you go. Go get that shit, man.
I will be on Codenames with XL on Monday night. It's gonna be a blast. We do have a lot of fun on there. It is us acting a fool and playing a fun game, which is also fun to watch. And then I've got some other upcoming dates. So you can find everything at Mocha_Jesus on Twitter and Instagram. What you got there, Rob?
Tame Society.
It
is incense, and it's a bunch of aromatherapy stuff. I got the incense. They burn like they smell. You did.
Nice.
They smell like they burn.
That's some great insight.
Okay.
So do they have a website or something?
I'm interested in that.
Do they have a website or something? Is there
they do have all of the above.
Let's shout them out, man. Let's give it to them.
Tainted Society on all social media. Tainted Society on all social media. Tainted Society.
Tainted Society. We also catch people's comedy.
Time out. Sorry. Tamed Society.
Tamed. TAMED Society. Right. Okay.
Tamed.
On all social media.
On all social media.
Thank you guys for sticking with us, man. Get over to People of Comedy and People of Comedy Network on Twitter and Instagram. Find out some of the great shows. Chase James Webb around the city of Chicago. Wherever he is, that's where great comedy is. Catch us back here next week for another live. And that's it from us. That's it. That's what's up, y'all.
Go ahead. Shout out Lil Cuz.
Because love shout outs.
Fuck them all night. They gon' have to pay our tickets, sell our shows before we hit the roof. They said we couldn't do it, now we do it just to say we did it. Fuck a critic on my pivot.